Hello and welcome to the Pete Braley Show. I am so glad that you tuned in today. Thank you very much. Before we meet our guest, I do want to point out that what we try to do on this show is shine the spotlight on people that have made our life better here in Greater New Bedford and Southeastern Massachusetts. If you know of someone that you think we should have on, please let me know. You can message me on Facebook. I'm also on X, and you can, of course, email thepetebraleyshow@gmail.com. That's thepetebraleyshow@gmail.com. Our guest today is someone who needs no introduction, but did you ever notice that whenever someone says that, they go on and give the introduction? I'm going to break the mold and just say, here's Phil Paleologos.
The best intro I've had in years.
Yeah.
I love it.
Have you ever noticed that? People say, he needs no introduction. He started in 1972. No. Welcome.
Thank you. Love this. I love the idea behind your show here.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we're having fun with it.
How do you want to be remembered?
What's that?
How do you want to be remembered?
How do I want to be remembered?
How do you want to be remembered?
Look at this. He's interviewing me.
No, because this is the essence of this show, right? Mm-hmm. I think it's awesome. I think it's so positive.
Thanks,
this is what we need. We need more Pete Braley in the world.
And we need the Phil Show Now, which we will talk about. That's Phil's new show. One thing I want to cover, because it has been mentioned to me, if anyone is saying, how come you got him on? Didn't he take your radio show? I want you to know, this guy was one of the first people that reached out to me the weekend I get fired. That is almost 10 years now. Do you believe that? It's been 10 years since I was at WBSM.
Some things I like to block out.
Yeah, I hear you.
If this wasn't one of the top two most hurtful weekends I ever experienced in my life, when they pulled me in and said, this was Pete's last show today on Monday. You are starting at 6 a.m. or whatever time it was.
Yeah.
There was, how do you explain shock? How do you explain why?
Yeah.
How do you process it?
Right.
And then I'm supposed to go on the air Monday morning. Are you ready?
Right.
Happy Phil. Oh, hi, Phil here. Pete Braley, he's not here anymore, but I'm sure you're going to like the more.
I would like to say I listened in that morning, but I didn't. So.
How would you like to be in my position?
I know. It must have been crazy.
I mean, can you blame the people? Like, hey, what's going on here? Who are you? We don't want you. Mm-hmm. We want Pete.
Something we're used to. Yeah. So, anyway,
something they loved.
Yeah.
Not used to.
Right.
They tuned into you because you had a relationship with them.
True.
And baby, we need more of those relationships in America today.
And I have to ask, you're no longer at WBSM either, and I have to ask you, that the story that was put out there was that Phil retired. And I have to ask, was it your choice to retire?
Chapter 12. You gotta read the book. Chapter 12, Pete. I'll even put a parenthesis for Pete.
Oh, crazy times, huh? Yeah, but he's now back. He has the Phil Show Now, and which I will get to. But first, let's go back a little bit. You and I first met in the late 70s at WNBH.
Yeah.
When you were brought in to do the morning show. That was when you came to New Bedford. Did you know about New Bedford before that? Or?
Not really.
Yeah.
No. I was a newcomer to the city, and obviously to a new culture down here. It's different here than it was in Boston. The culture's a lot different.
Yeah. Now, you told me yesterday that you were, because I said, you're from Arkansas, right? And you said, no, South Carolina. So.
Well, we moved around, Pete.
And that was because your father was in the ministry?
Right.
Okay. And ministers can move as much as the military, right?
You bet, especially Greek Orthodox priests.
Okay.
My dad was transferred from parish to parish. We had about 10 states that we could put up on our
Wow.
nickname. Oh yeah, absolutely. Growing up, it's difficult. Anybody who's a military kid will understand this. When you're growing up, you start school. You know, there's a fear right there. Nobody knows me.
Right.
But then, you know, 3/4 of the way through the year, when you're starting to become friends,
You move again.
goodbye. All right? That's why I'm psychotic.
That's why. That's why. So you ended up what? South Carolina. You've talked about Arkansas. Was that a big part of your youth, Arkansas?
It was.
I have never been to Arkansas.
How can
All I know about is Bill Clinton with Arkansas.
I want you to imagine a skinny, crazy kid who, in PS 115, that's like the 8th grade.
Okay.
We're living on 177th and Haven Avenue, right next to the GW Bridge. And we get transferred from there to Hot Springs, Arkansas.
From New York City to
Sir?
Arkansas?
Sir?
Wow. Culture shock. Big time.
Culture. This was a schism, all right? As if I wasn't nuts enough. All right, here we go from that to that. The year, oh my God, I think it was 63 or 64. The height of segregation,
Right.
riots, the temperature in America. You want to talk about lowering the temp today?
Right.
Over the top.
Wow.
All right?
Did that all help you as a broadcaster? I would think so, because it gave you so many different views of the human condition.
You know what it helped me with the most? Is to understand, I think. To give me a basic understanding.
Okay.
All right? It didn't influence my reporting or my style on the air or anything, but it did give me, Pete, a sense of what I'm talking about and where I'm coming from. You know, I come from an area that maybe people disagree with, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Because I have
We've
learned,
forgotten that.
I've learned how to befriend a stranger.
Okay. Nice. So your dad was in the ministry, and did I see where you and your lovely wife Celeste were the recipients of the, what was it, the Metropolis of Boston Ministry Award?
Thank you.
Congratulations. What's that all about?
It is a beautiful, thank you so much. I mean, it is from our hearts that we love to serve God.
Okay.
No awards ever necessary. But we appreciate, you know, when others say, you know, thank you for what
thank
you're
you, yeah.
doing, we thank that. We do. And it's just, you know what, it's giving back to our community. That's all it is.
Yeah.
You know?
I have to ask you, one of the things that I've been asked over the years is he always like that? Is this an act that he puts on? And I tell him, no, that's what you hear is Phil. So has that always been a part of your life, or is it something that, I mean, as we get older, hopefully we learn. Have you always been this cheery, cheerleader? I told the people around here today, I said, he's a hugger. Watch out, he's a hugger. Have you always been that way?
Yeah.
Yeah. And why? Was it the way you grew up? Is that just how you experience things, or?
It's just a natural, it's who I am.
Yeah.
That's why. It's who I am.
Yeah. That's so cool, because you can't walk away from an afternoon with this guy, I don't think, in a bad mood. Maybe I should ask your wife, or maybe your kid. Do you ever blow up at your kids? You had what, 3 or 4?
We have 3.
3.
3 kids.
I've had my days, and I there's things I wish I could have changed as how I reacted to things.
Well, you know what? We're human.
Yeah.
Hello? I mean, we're human beings. sometimes because we're in the public eye or ear, we're held to a little different standard.
Yeah.
And rightfully so,
I
because
agree.
you have so much power, with a camera, a microphone on the air at WSAR with
Right.
Scott.
Yeah.
You're, all over. Your social presence, it's important.
So you kind of, yeah, my kids will tell you, because we told them, we're like, hey, especially if I was in an appearance or something, we're like, hey, you got to behave yourself, because the way you act reflects on me, and so they always knew, oh, Dad's doing a show, I got to behave, so.
That's when I started revolting. I started raiding the wine in the little closet in the altar. All right? Not only did I have to go to confession to my own father, all right?
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow! But now, here I'm faced with all of these other things, so you don't have to explain to me that. I understand.
I have to ask, though, well, first of all, when did you first become interested in broadcasting? And was it always radio? Was that your focus?
There was divine intervention, because I had no idea what I was doing. I had just transferred from New York City, New York, where we have coffee,
Coffee, yeah.
to Hot Springs.
Hot Springs, Arkansas.
So, well, you believe in Jesus, son? That was probably the first question they ever asked.
Oh, wow.
It was a completely different. You have to understand this, that in this country there are different villages.
Yeah.
And if it does take a village, you see where I'm going with this?
I see you. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
And that's what we're going to have to do.
Wow. But again, what first, was it a dream to be in radio, or was it just you? Did you think of any other careers? For me, I always wanted to do play-by-play for the Boston Red Sox.
You would have, yeah.
Never made it to that level, but I enjoy doing high school sports now, because that's like my little slice of my dream job.
Yeah.
So. But then, the more I can remember laying in bed at night listening to DJs on the radio, and at one point I said, "Hey, I want to do that. Sounds like he's having fun." And that's how I started. What lit the fire for you?
I think my grandmother's image comes through when she would tell me in Greek the lines of a play.
Okay.
That we would have to learn because of Greek school. But Dad, I can't. No, you are kids of the priest, you go to Greek school. You have to be the example, like the Braley kids, you know?
And from that I have to ask, so you're in broadcasting, you talk show host, you've done a number of shows. How did that guy end up in a diner? How did the diner come about? Was it Celeste's family?
No, it was my psychosis.
Oh, okay, that explains it. We're talking about the Shama Diner, of course.
Now I want you to imagine, how old was I? 29 years old? Well, in years. Up here, that's another thing. Who actually, if I could put it in one sentence, I bought a diner while I was completely broke.
Oh.
So that's that. And I thank the bankers. Thank you for believing me. Thank you.
Because you were either at WNBH or BSM, I think, at the time that you bought it, right?
I think I had been fired from both
Oh,
at the time.
Not that that's unusual in this business,
Right?
but
No, well,
yeah.
it was unusual for me because alcohol played a detrimental part in all of my bad decisions, I was hand in hand with a little bit of the
Yeah.
hoochie coochie.
How many years has it been?
40
40 years since you stopped drinking? Congratulations.
day at a time.
I can imagine, yeah, one
God's
day at a
help.
time. Yeah. I tell my kids one of the most difficult things I've ever done in my life is to stop smoking. I can't imagine. I mean, you got to kick it up a few degrees to deal with the alcohol. Am I right?
Whatever your love is, okay, if it's a real love, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And you have to work at it. And it's like life. Nothing is going to come easy, but if you want it, you will get it.
Yeah.
You know.
I've noticed that with other friends that have said, I need to quit smoking. I got to do it. I'm honest with them. I want to say, you're never going to be able to do it until you make that decision. Just because other people tell you need to stop this, that doesn't matter. You need to make that decision.
And then, Pete, you have to take it from where you are to falling in love with the struggle.
Okay.
If you don't do that, it's going to be pushing you back and forth, and these temptations are going to be, all right? So
Right.
you almost have to control the struggle in order to gain the confidence. You've got the reins now.
Right.
It doesn't have you.
Gotcha. So you had the diner, and I know you met so many people. We could fill hours with the people and the stories, I'm sure. But then the diner show came to be, right?
Yeah.
Whose idea was that? To broadcast a morning show from a diner, where you built a studio and everything in the diner.
I think, God bless his soul, I think it was the president of Talk America Radio Network.
Okay.
He used to come down to the diner and eat free. And he was very frugal, Pete. So he'd be down at the diner often. And while he's eating, all right, he would be thinking. And the guy had brilliant thoughts.
Right.
He says, with all the clanging of the coffee cups and the people talking in the background, he says, why don't you do the show from here?
And did you think it was crazy at first, or could you see this? Wait a minute.
Immediately. If you believe in evolution, I believe in God created.
Yep.
Boom! All right? The Big Bang happened.
Wow. And you did that for how many years?
Thank you. Our family, Pete, our family,
Yeah.
33. 33 years.
Wow.
I know.
That is crazy. But a wonderful experience for you, I'm sure.
Sure. How would you like to be yelled at in the diner from your wife while having a bad day, honey? You try getting them grits out of the...
Tell me about the Phil show now. I had a chance to go and see your studio yesterday in downtown New Bedford. What a beautiful setup. And this is a show you do with John Mathia. Did he approach you, or did you approach? How did this come to be?
He called me at the most opportune time in my life. And he said, you know what? We have to talk. And so we did.
Yeah.
I'm so happy because he is the caliber of person that you want as a professional to get a good product out there, and also as a person.
And he's so, what do I want to say, forward thinking. I mean, just the time that you and I spent together yesterday, and John was there. But he's so much into the using social media and how you gotta post some shorts and get those on Instagram and TikTok and all that. He's always, we have a tendency to sit back and say, well, we've never done it this way before. Back in my day, he doesn't seem to be one of those thinkers.
No. You got to take these guys down once in a while, and you got to talk. You got to talk real serious, Pete. I mean,
those are my consultants.
You don't have to tell me. He's going to tell me all about it.
Oh, is he? Yeah.
You're right.
So tell me about the show. It's an interview show, right?
Yeah. Your director, Megan, she got it. The essence of the show is everyone has a story. Pete.
Right.
Now, it's our job to navigate between all of the minutiae. All right? That takes a skill.
It does, because a lot of people think they don't have a story. A lot of people think I'm not special.
Absolutely. And
yes,
get
they
to
are.
that story.
Yes.
All right? And it's usually, I hope, it's an emotional thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're lacking a lot of that today.
Right. Right. So this show is available on YouTube, Facebook. Where else am I?
All of them.
All of them. Yeah. Is that a couple of old radio guys here? When I first experienced this, it kind of blew my mind.
What?
The reach you can have, and the fact that, number one, we appreciate everybody who clicks on this, gives us a click, a like, a share, whatever you want to call it. Radio, we were always limited to the signal area. How strong was the transmitter, things like that. And then the internet came along, so that was cool. You could listen to us online. But now with social media, the reach, I mean, it's unbelievable.
It is. Yet, there's not the intimacy we had
Right.
when it was on the radio.
Right.
Yes, we're going through many of the universes. But what good is it if there's no connection?
True. That's very true. I hadn't thought about that.
Now you see, that's why you ought to listen.
Yep. That's why
you don't talk to these guys often enough.
Oh, is that? Oh, we should make that a new feature.
I don't know about feature, but they're lonely up there.
Waldorf and Statler.
Is that what their names
I
are?
don't remember which one's which. I think Statler's the tall one. So.
People need that connection, Pete, in more ways than you know. And if we as broadcasters can put a little on, on, that's good. You know what? Mission accomplished.
Yeah, I wrote recently that my goal was always, if I can put a smile on your face, I've done my job.
That's beautiful.
And if I can make you laugh, that's extra, bonus points.
Sure.
So.
Because we look around and there's not too much to laugh at nowadays.
No, it's true. So it's great to have you on. I'm glad we finally had a chance to get together here.
Yeah.
It's not always easy to track this guy down. The first time I talked to you, you were getting ready for the 50s night, the Joe Jesus 50s night.
What a signature.
It looked like it was a super success this year.
Thank you. It was. Think of Joe Jesus. He was charismatic,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And it was that glow that connected him with all of the people who love him.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of energy I want to emit, and that's the kind of energy that I want to be remembered for.
True. Yeah. That's right. Didn't you ask me earlier, what do you want to be remembered for? So, yeah, you can't beat that. If someone says, he was a nice guy,
Whatever.
Well, good luck with your show.
Thank you
And
so much.
It's funny, we run into each other all the time at various events. It's usually just quick, well, in my case, a handshake, you've got a hug. So it's a quick hug or something like that.
Absolutely.
But that's the key, right?
Yep.
Don't slow down.
Don't stop.
My wife tells me I'm a horrible retired guy. I'm like, well,
Well,
stay busy.
you should listen to Priscilla more often. Hey, look at that, see? Yeah, we got you to smile. She's right. She's right. We should never stop learning.
Mm-hmm.
We should never stop completely. We can just do things moderately, the things that mean a lot to you.
The slower, the
Yeah,
older I get, the
well,
slower it goes. Yeah.
Moderate is a nice word.
Yeah. Everything in moderation.
Yeah, pan metron aditon.
Is that?
That's ancient Greek.
Oh, wow.
Means everything in moderation or balance.
Nice. Thank you so much for being on with us.
Oh,
and
I loved it.
as I thought,
Loved it.
driving in here this morning, I thought, how am I going to do this in 28 minutes? Well, I mean, so many things that I, still like to ask, and there are so many stories to tell.
It's
But
my honor.
yeah.
Thank you, baby.
And good luck with the show.
Thank you.
And again, you can see it on everywhere, right?
Everywhere.
It's the Phil Show now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, and you're entering your second season. John's from the TV world, so I said to him, I said, what does this see? 13 episodes. I'm like, oh, okay. Never knew that.
Did he tell you, though, that I love you?
Did he tell me that? No.
No. Well, I will then.
Oh, thank you. I love you too.
Thanks, baby.
All right, thanks, Phil. Our thanks once again to our guest, Phil Paleologos, for this episode of the show. And remember, if you have any idea of someone we should sit down and talk to, tell their story, you can let me know. You can just email me at thepetebraleyshow@gmail.com. We leave you with a thought for the day. Our thought this time comes from Tony Gaskins, who once said, if you can't do anything about it, then let it go. Don't be a prisoner of things you can't change. No matter what, we hope you go out and make it a great day.